Hey y'all, sitting here, I bought a new RMR for my Glock. I always use Vortex. Remember, first thing, always first, check the pistol. Magazine's out, it's empty, no round in there as we're handling it. But I have Vortex, a red dot, love it, it's pretty good, no complaints at all. Very durable. You can slam it against a door jamb or even against a table to chamber your pistol if you can't with the other hand. This is really good, and they have lifetime warranty even on the glass, which we have to use because you gotta be brokers in our purse somehow. So we're going to push that and see how well they honor that warranty. But anyways, one thing I don't like or wish was different was I had a reticle like the EOTech. I love EOTech. It's on my rifles. I really love it. I love that optic. EOTech makes an RMR, but they do not have the halo that they have on the rifles. Don't know why. On their site, it says that they can't shrink their technology. Very odd because Holosun has that exact reticle. And so I was looked up some of the better ones. A lot of people recommended the Holosun 509T. So this is an enclosed emitter, which means same thing with Vortex, that it's inside like the glass. So that means snow or dirt or debris will not get in the way of that reticle. You'll still see that red dot. An open emitter means like almost like you shine a laser, put your hand in front of it, it could obscure it. So if you got dirt or snow or mud in this mechanism on an open emitter RMR, it'll take out your red dot or your reticle. So closed emitters cost a little more, but if you're just doing target shooting or whatnot, it's fine for either one. But I use this as my everyday carry, I appendix carry. So also you have get dirt in there or just use. So as it being something I carry for defense, I went with the closed emitter. So that's what their 509T is. This is a green halo. It actually switches between green and red. Reason being is I had PRK surgery about 5 years ago, and I have very, very little astigmatism left from it. Almost untraceable. Driving at night, I'm fine. But I did find out with this particular red dot, it affects a little bit. So the reason I figured this out last time shooting with my friend James Harshman Hills, shooting the steel, I noticed I was missing a few times and then I used his Bear Creek Arsenal Glock that had just open sights. I hit everything. Started looking into it and seeing people saying that with astigmatism, it can cause issues with the red. So that's also what brought me to this to try for green. But fortunately, I can switch it to red because the reason you have red is the least common color in nature. Meaning, if I had to use my weapon in the woods, you'd want red instead of green because grass, trees, leaves, all that is more green. So it almost rendered the optic non-usable. So fortunately, this does both. If I'm carrying day to day, which is suburban, city, green will be fine. So I have that ability to go back and forth. So here's the initial unboxing of this. We just got this in today. Gabby did open the box, make sure everything was fine. So it was open once. She doesn't trust the delivery guys because they drop stuff on the porch. So here we got the instruction manual, the cloth, the optic itself. They have the plate, and hopefully this matches. Looking online, they say this plate does fit a Glock 19 MOS, which I have here. MOS means that they have pre-milled out the slide so I can have RMRs on there. So we'll see. Hopefully that matches up. This is my first time looking at it. I didn't really watch any installation videos. So as I do this on camera, you can criticize me because I'm fumbling through it for the first time. Make sure nothing else is in there. Something I don't have on me at this very moment, I will do later, is I do not have my torque screwdriver because it does say 15 foot inches on this, not foot pounds, foot inches. So I will tighten this later to that. The reason I always want to make sure it's tight is because obviously it's firing, it's wiggling. So you don't want that coming undone. Fortunately, the screws come preloaded with Loctite. You always want to make sure Loctite, blue Loctite, not red. Red will tear up your gun because red's permanent. Blue is just to keep it there. Reason being is the more you fire it, if you don't have Loctite, it will back the screws out, mess your zero up, and eventually could lose a screw or lose the sight due to that. So I'm doing something that's been on this gun for a long time, is I'm taking the Vortex off. I've had this on for, I think about 3 years, 4 years I've been using this one. Like I said, it's really good. I can't complain. It's not Vortex fault that I have a little bit of astigmatism. And like I said, I trust it. Even when I was out shooting, where I was hitting, I still would have hit an individual, so I still would have been fine. It just, I want to try something different, be a little more accurate. So the battery, this Vortex is here. I'm taking it off. So you see, I had this extra plate right here. This is the Glock plate. First, I'm just going to look and see if that lines up. It does not look like it does. So I will be using Holosuns. So I have to take this plate off as well. That's what this guy is right here. This is the one that goes onto the weapon. I will keep this, of course, because I may switch back and forth. I don't know yet. Saturday, we're looking to go shoot because we're going to have a very odd 60-degree day. Christmas, as most of the Midwest, and the day after Christmas is going to be that. So I'm going to do both. Now, something else the Holosuns have. They have just solar models and battery. This one's both. It has a solar backup and a battery right here. One cool thing about Holosun is that their battery compartment's on the side, meaning like the Vortex, as you saw, I took it off, the battery's underneath. So I have to verify the zero every time I change the battery on the Vortex. So that is something cool. Reason I was leery about Holosun is they're a Texas company, but they're manufactured in China. So I was really leery about that. But reading people say they are durable, I went with Vortex because Vortex is battle proven. They're good. Vortex, EOTech, and Trigicon, there's no question about their durability. So that's what I've always sticked with them. Reading and seeing people have been using the Holosun and holding zero after many uses. So I figured I'd give it a try. My brother said he can't remember who, but he did see a Green Beret operator on YouTube saying he used it. He did take it with him on deployment and was happy with it. My friend Lance, who's also a Green Beret, he likes Vortex. It's one of the reasons I went to it. He has not tried Holosun. I was going to talk to him about this later. Let him see it that we don't go to Texas till the fall. Let him try it out. He's never tried Holosun. But like I said, a lot of times you just stick with what you know. And I just always knew Vortex through my friend and just knowing the name. I've used it in the past. Good brand. Like I said, can't say anything bad about Vortex. So here we're taking, I believe this was Glock number 2. No, this is Glock plate number 1. When you buy an MLS, they come in different plates. And this is what I was talking about. The Glock mills it out for you. You can see that's what it looks like without any of the plates. So we're going to put Holosun's plate here. I may have to actually put the other plate back on and then put this. Yep, never mind. I got to keep this plate on. And this plate goes over it. Interesting. Okay. Maybe. Let's see. No, it doesn't. So I may have to buy other plates because this is the one that came with this one. Not known until you get it. That's one of the things. So I may have, or I think I saw Glock plate number 2, so I may just have to go in my gun safe, look through my parts, and find Glock plate number 2 because this is number 1. And what it is, it's where these screws go into a different position for your other plate. So stand by. I gotta go look for a part. So fortunately, I kept these. I have a little kit I keep for repairs for the rifles and the pistols. I was fortunate I did not throw any of these away. I don't like clutter, so I throw a lot of stuff away. But usually I don't throw away parts that I might need later. And fortunately, I was smart enough to realize I would need these later. So when you buy an MOS Glock, it comes with 3 plates for different RMRs, and they're labeled 1, 2, 3. And like I said, somewhere I read that number 2 is what this one fits, and that is correct. It is the number 2 when you have a Glock MOS. So I'm going to mount this guy on here. And like I said, this is just the adapter plate. Not everyone knows how to do these because I actually went looking for this optic at Cabela's. Not to badmouth anyone at Cabela's, but I wasn't real familiar with which models of or not EOTech, but Holosun. And the guy didn't know how the adapter plates work. And he's like, oh, see, it won't go over there. And turns out I was correct. Now they didn't have the particular model I wanted. But that's neither here nor there. It's just what you run into with people. That's one reason I normally don't like chain stores for gun parts. There is one guy there that knows quite a bit because I had talked to him some the week prior, but everyone was doing their Christmas shopping at Cabela's yesterday and did not have time to. That guy did not have time because he had to take a number. But anyways, so these adapter plates, like I said, not many people know about this. And to the other guy's credit, if you don't use them, you don't know because you don't know if you never mess with it. So it's not necessarily ignorance. It's just you may not have an interest. You don't use it. He might be a revolver guy. So we'll just give him a benefit of doubt and say he just doesn't do RMRs. Okay, so I'm snugging this. There's still some blue Loctite left on these. I will probably dab some on top later, as I talked about, so that they don't come undone. So there's Glock plate number 2, and all it does is move these mounting holes. So here's Holosun's plate. You can see right there, that's perfect. Because what this does, this mounts almost like a Picatinny rail. This just because you can kind of go forward or backwards on this and tighten it to the side. So that's not too bad. So these are freshly Loctited. He said after the video, I will re-Loctite everything and torque these down. Okay, so one thing, they don't have this recessed real well, so it's gonna, you gotta get to start with your finger a little bit. Engineers, hate engineers. I spend my whole life fixing engineers' problems. I'm a biomed technician. That's why I joke and say that. Engineers make good stuff, but they never think about the maintenance side or mounting something. So there we go, got that on there. So now, fingers off the trigger, even though we verified it's empty. I'm securing this. I'm just using their tool. It's nice, it comes with it. So I just see something I don't like. This popped up for some reason. Oh, I see why. The screw they gave is kind of long, and it pushed up against. Something to be mindful of. Pushed up against the Glock plate. Made a gap. It kind of rose it up. So the pressure pushed up on this back here. See that? You can see a little space created. It seems like they gave me screws that are too big for the hole. Okay, so now let's see if he'll screw it in, because sometimes you do that, it makes the threads a little difficult. You pinch the threads. So after a lot of work going through screws, I figured out what it was. And you can see I had to have a headlamp on here. They made the adapter fit Glock plate number 2, but they made the screw that was wide enough to fit too long. I don't know. Glock is one of the most common handguns in the world, so it's very surprising they didn't have screws to go so easy with that. Said the width was fine, the length was off. So I had to resort to, I didn't want to wait to go to the store. I resort to Redneck Engineering. Klein tools, lineman cutters. You can take threads off a screw. When you do that, you gotta be careful because you can crush the threads. And what I ended up doing on one of these guys, it's very hard to see there, I cut too many threads off. So this guy, luckily in my little kit here, I had an extra on. It's a little messy here because I've been doing this for the past 30 minutes trying to get a screw to fit. Finally, no rattles. I have a tight mounting plate for this guy to go on. Thank God. Before I put him on, I'm going to make sure he turns on. Yeah, there he is. All right. So he works. One thing I did forget to check is which side is front on this. Okay. So that's the back end. So like I said, this kind of connects like a picnic rail. And that's what you're basically doing, is putting a little rail on here. So deciding how far back I want to put it. I'm going to slide it back a little further. Come on. Believe it or not, this is the easy part. All right, cool. So just tighten this on the side now. That was more work than I cared for it to be on a adapter plate. That should have been really easy. So there we have it. The profile is a little higher, you can see. So I'll see how I like that. It's got a little bit higher profile. Sticks up a little more. However, I have a reticle there instead of just a red dot. So I'm going to play with that, shoot it, and see how I like it. But there, the mounting is. That should only be 3 to 5 minutes or less. If the screws were fine and I had the plates available and knew what plate, that would have been a very easy job. So that's not all Holosun's fault. The only thing I will say is their fault is they did not have the right screws. Like I said, a Glock, particularly 19 MOS, is a very, very popular gun. And they would know that that would be used there because, like I said, this is Glock in itself is the most used handgun in the world. The 19, on top of that being the model most people like with the MOS for using these. So it just seems odd they would not have the correct screws for that. But it's what it is. Gabby likes doing custom reviews, so she's going to say something to Holosun about that. That's her fun thing to do. But there it is, Saturday. We're going to shoot this and see how well it zeros. All right, have a good one. Yeah, they did that. Hope this real well.